up, Dokkaners? Welcome back to Tsunami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. I am joined today by two of my buddies. I got the Masked Ningen and I got Talon. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Yo, how's it going, everybody?
Konnichiwa. What's going on, everybody?
So we are here to talk about the age-old question that comes up before every banner. Should you summon? Now, for this particular case, all we have going right now is the information presented in front of us. We know that the summons will be happening at a very different time because this is a joint summon between Global and JP, and we know what these units do individually. However, the banners are still yet to be determined, but I brought a couple boys in here to help me out because we do have some information from previous Golden Week celebrations that could kind of help us figure out what some of these banners are going to look like, some of these units anyway. So we'll start with the basics. So looking at these units, I don't want to go over all of it entirely because there have been plenty of videos going over what each of these guys do, but given what you guys know about these two units, the GT Hero Dokkan Fest leads, in a vacuum, are these two units so good that they are worth summoning for just as these guys are alone?
So, I mean, I haven't watched any of the private server videos yet. I've only seen their kits, but they do seem to be incredibly powerful on paper. GT Hero seems like a sort of interesting category. Obviously, we knew we were never going to get a full-on just GT category because of the way they'd already released Shadow Dragon Saga. But I mean, it looks kind of interesting. They're on a bunch of good teams, but I don't know. It's one of those things for me personally, not being the hugest fan of GT. The fact that they only really included Super Saiyan 4 in the transformation, there's something about these units that are not super hype for me.
Yeah, I think Talon is probably gonna mention the same sort of sentiment that I have. These units are powerful, of course, but it's kind of a repetition of a similar formula that's been done before. So as far as like bringing something new to the table, there's not much of a box office appeal, just because it's pretty much the same thing. But for me, I love Vegeta. I love anything that remotely resembles Super Saiyan 4, which is basically what we have here. It's like 3 or 4 solid frames of Super Saiyan 4 in the active skill. However, the active skill itself brings a lot of issues with it because people aren't too hyped about the fact that you have to perform 4 super attacks to do that. And this isn't like Broly where his passive sort of allows you to get that active skill going sooner rather than later. It's kind of a little more restrictive because it's going to take you a little while to get there. So I would say, objectively speaking, this is probably not one of the more hype units to summon for just alone. But like I said, I'm still excited for it because this is a GT Vegeta, another Vegeta that can run on a squad with other Vegetas, and there's just anything with Super Saiyan 4, I need it.
Basically said exactly what I wanted to say. They're by no means bad or anything. They're definitely powerful. And the nice thing is that they do change. They're orb changers, which is really nice. So they will survive the power creep that's going to come just like any time, before them. But I don't know. Personally, for me, it's just something I'm probably going to skip. Like, I honestly am. Again, they're not bad, and if you love Vegeta family, you love Goku family more than anything, they're really good. But and I do agree with that active skill condition for super attacks are more, especially on Vegeta, who the only way you're now going to get additionals for him is if either A, you get some skill orbs into him, hopefully you've got a level 5 int silver and int bronze hanging around to give him some additional, or you get a dupe of him. Yeah. And so that's not, I do not like their active skill conditions, which I think for the most part most people don't. So again, they're really solid units and everything, just with what we know is going to be coming up in, well, it's basically, I mean, I know it's technically the end of April, but I just simply call May in terms of Golden Week happening because that's when actually Golden Week happens here in Japan. After that, the moment August comes around, we know we've got the worldwide celebration, which based on last year was way more hype than the Golden Week celebration. So I personally think that is going to be a lot better. Plus, last I remember, Ningen, remind me if I'm wrong, because again, trying to remember over a year ago on banners and everything, the Golden Week unit banners will be on the worldwide celebration banners. Right, so this Goku and Vegeta will be on those banners if I remember correctly.
So the way it worked, I think, if I'm remembering this rightly, because obviously the units came out on JP first, they were on JP's version, but they weren't on Global. So because this is going to be a joint celebration, there is definitely the possibility that they will be on the banners for both versions. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So if you truly want to get them and everything, or maybe you're just someone who doesn't want to have to, maybe you want to use your coins on them or anything like that. Or again, if you're not going to use your coins, but you maybe get a chance of getting them, we all know everyone's going to summon for the worldwide celebration, or at least most people will. So during that time, if they're back already, then you can just summon for them, or you're summoning on the banner already, and then it's like, oh, hey, by the way, I pulled them. So.
But speaking of banners and past banners, this does bring up an interesting conversation, because for this banner, we've sort of already surmised what could potentially be on it because of the fact that this is a Golden Week banner, or Golden Week celebration. Talon, I think you mentioned that we're going to be getting the first reappearance of the Pycon and Janemba being the New Year's celebration banners for JP. So for JP, at least, they should be getting those units. So do you think that that could ultimately translate to Global as well, or are there going to be some changes made between the two versions?
Okay, that's always hard to say just because we never know what's going on in Akatsuki's head. I mean, they had Team A in there for a long time, so, yeah. But although with these active skill conditions, we're starting to see Team A flutter back in just a bit. But anyway, I digress. So what we do know for JP, obviously, is that we're going to have, Goku and Vegeta on their own separate banners. Trunks will be on Vegeta's banner. The new GT one, Goten will be on Goku's banner. Yeah. And then we should see Janemba on Vegeta's banner most likely, and Pycon on Goku's banner. Now, obviously, I know that's JP. I know a lot of global players watch your channel as well. I don't know if they would bring him back that soon. It makes sense, but you just got Pycon and Janemba, what, a month and a half ago? 2 months ago at most, I think?
Seems like yesterday for me, but yeah.
Right. Well, yes, there's clearly, obviously, the chance that they could. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't know. I really don't. Yeah. So that's kind of my take on that personally.
Yeah, it's happened in...
Yeah, I think for us, it's definitely not happening this way. Like, there's going to be some changes coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say, units have in the past, on the odd occasion, been on the next banner after being on a previous banner, but normally only as one of the secondary featured units. I would find it very unlikely that we would go from the brand new units from a dual Dokkan Fest that literally just went away being on the next banner that goes up, which is another dual Dokkan Fest.
Yeah, so for JP, the New Year's Dokkan Fest seems very likely, but for Global, if you had to shoot, what would be your guess for what that secondary unit might be? Do you think it might be Cooler, Beerus? Like, what do you think is most likely to be featured for Global?
That's a tough one, because obviously there are a bunch of units that they kind of use. Like you said, there's like Beerus, Cooler. I guess Bojack came back on JP on Vidal's banner, and that's going to be a while away from us, but even he's still kind of recent for Global.
When was the last time Kefla showed up?
Yeah, STR Kefla, I guess, is another possibility. What would be really good is if they just don't put them on our banners and we have one less featured unit.
Okay.
But they're not going to do that, yeah.
Yeah. And taking a look at the previous Golden Week banners, this is what we had. We had the Evil Boo this is the JP banner, of course. This is the Evil Boo, Majin Vegeta. So kind of that same formula for JP. I'm really going to start pushing the whole truth motto about having these two on the same timeline. This would just make our conversation so much easier. But
yeah, I've recently fully switched. I'm a full sync the games.
Yeah, I'm a full believer in that now, man. Like after the joy that I experienced when I first found out that this was happening on both, I just realized that that's not something that I want to lose. Like this, Global deserves to be happy. So why not have them on the same timeline? But anyway, moving back to obviously the new banner units. So we were talking about the Goku and the Vegeta. If you had to choose between these two units, the sideline units on the GT Heroes, which unit do you think would be better? So if you had to determine which banner to summon on, if at all, which of these two units would you say is the better buy? Do you think the Gohan Goten, or is it the Goten and Trunks?
I have a very strong opinion on this straight away. After reading their kit, I think that the Trunks and Goten AGL one, way better, because if you look at their passive,
I knew you're a man of culture there, Ningen. Nice
yeah,
job.
like
All right.
if you look at their passive, so the other unit, the Gohan and Goten, they support GT heroes, which is cool if you want to build that kind of team. The Goten and Trunks support Goku's family and Vegeta's family, which means they're the ultimate support unit for Hybrid Saiyans, because literally every single Hybrid Saiyan unit is either a Goku family or Vegeta family. So they're basically 3 key and 40% to all Hybrid Saiyans, essentially. So they become like a must-run support unit for the Hybrid Saiyan team.
Final verdict, if you have to choose summon or not summon, if you're a whale, definitely summon once. If you're not a whale, sadly, it probably might benefit you more to not summon, because like we said,
I say skip.
yeah, like we said, the banners are not going to be looking too good, especially given what's on the horizon. There are not going to be too many enticing repeat units, unless, of course, you just don't spend much on the game. But if you can get lucky and pull these guys, then sure. But yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Talon. Overall, all things considered, probably the answer is no. But as you guys know, I'm going to summon anyway. So if you don't summon, feel free to watch some of our summons, because we'll definitely be doing that. Not Talon, on videos.
I'll be watching your summons. No worry.
He'll be watching too, because Talon's a retired Dokkan tuber.
Yeah, like I said, I'll probably summon. I think if you're free to play or you don't spend very much, you probably should skip. I know there's always the comments, always the discussion part of the conversation that people... I do think you should summon for characters that you like, because you should play the game the way you want.
Of course.
But you've got to remember, with the anniversary around the corner, this is, aimed at global players primarily. If you're somebody who's not spending on the game very much or at all, you think if there's going to be a banner coming up where you get lucky and maybe you get your first like Goku Black Rift or Whis animation in a long time, do you really want to be getting this Goku or Vegeta, or do you want to be getting AGL UI Goku? So for a lot of people, you probably want to save for the anniversary. But if you spend and you love GT, I would say go for it.
And always remember, this is just our thoughts. We're not telling you, forcing you. If you agree, if you disagree, that's totally fine. Feel free to talk to us in the comments. But just remember, nobody's forcing you to do anything. And of course, if you don't summon, you could always play with Metarildo, because he's getting a TUR. So, win-win.
Dude, that dude's a tank. Oh my gosh.
Win-win. Yeah, dude, this guy and his acne, he's good to go. So, thank you, Talon. Thank you, Ningen, for being here. Appreciate that. Guys, make sure to check out Mass Ningen on his channel. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. Make sure to check out Talon's second channel. Link will be in the description. Learn some Japanese. I might or might not be in one of those videos. So thank you guys for being here. Appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Always remember to Dokkan responsibly.
Peace out.
Later.